everyone, welcome back to another episode of Spotlight. We are so happy to have Benedict all the way from Germany here. Hi Ben, how are you doing?
How are you doing?
I am good. So Ben and I met actually at a conference that took place out in Europe. And well, of course, it was digital this year. And we were matched for networking. So I was really excited to get to talk to Ben and get to understand what his company does and how it runs very differently than the things we do here in North America. So Ben, please tell us about your venture firm and about yourself.
Perfect. So we tend to look slightly differently to most ventures. We look at the next stage on. So what happens if you don't get funding? What happens if something goes wrong? How can we look to take what you have, recycle it, and make it something again? So we have our team of 20 people who make that happen. And it's very collaborative. It's great fun, but it can be demanding.
And how did you get into this kind of a space? Because it's a very not traditional way of doing funding. And so what is your background that really connected you to this?
So I was in equities beforehand, always looked at the value side of life. I came out of equities a couple of years ago. We started looking at businesses, and actually a gin business approached me. And I was like, oh, very interesting. Gin's very hot at the moment. What's the returns like? And they said, oh, we'll probably look, 10, 15 times, 3 years. And I was like, great, fantastic. I dug into the stats a bit. And I saw that 93% of gin companies go bust.
Wow.
And I was
That
like,
high?
yeah, that high. So it's 9 out of 10. So you look at 9 out of 10, you're going, hang on a sec, if I've got £1 million portfolio, which I divide between 10 companies at $100,000 each, I'll never get my money back.
Oh my gosh.
And so we thought, hang on a sec, what about the other 9? What happens to the other 9? Inevitably, a good portion of them aren't going to survive and will peter out. But there's usually 2 or 3 which have done so much work, so much hard work. They just haven't got lucky. They haven't found the right person. Something hasn't fallen for them.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't been great at sales and marketing. They haven't been great at business strategy. Something just hasn't worked. And so we look at it and go, hang on a sec, rather than let that die, can we recycle that enterprise? Can we work with the founder to reboot them and go again?
That is so interesting because as an investor, you would be looking at very different analytics and very different KPIs than I would be as an early stage angel, right? We would only be looking at the very traditional things. So what would you say is, let's say, one of the biggest differences between angels and what you guys are doing?
So it was described to me that angels are always looking for hope, and we're looking for the opposite. I was like, it's not
The name of
necessarily
angel,
the truth.
yeah.
Yeah, it's not necessarily the truth. What we're looking for is, we're looking for, have they got something right? Have they got the product right? What have they got wrong?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas an angel is obviously always looking for that start about where can this go? What can you create out of this? Where can this be in 5 years? We're looking at it from maybe a couple of years down the line about what went wrong, and can we just tweak it a little bit?
Mm-hmm.
It's an approach where we have to be quite hands-on. Sometimes the founders choose not to stay, but that's fine. Sometimes they choose to stay and choose to be involved, and we love that, because it's all about, can this thing become what it should have been?
Mm-hmm. That's so interesting. And so for the way that you guys are funding, is there an average check size per se that you then write out for these kinds of companies that are kind of going downhill but need to be picked up again?
So there isn't, is the key thing here. We actually acquired the whole company last Thursday for $6,500. So about $8,000 we bought a company for last Thursday.
Wow. How old was this company?
About 4 years.
My goodness. 8,000 US dollars ish.
Yeah. Ish, yeah. But it's an incredible company, and what they've done is great.
Yeah.
A few things have gone wrong. We have to reset it. We actually bought a fantastic company, which we really like, called Motivate, in the HR space. Now this company it has got so much potential. It wasn't quite getting up to grade in other places. We've also written checks well into $5-10 million.
Wow.
So
So
you
that's
could,
a huge range.
it's a huge range because it depends what situation, what needs to happen. Basically, who knows?
Yeah.
That's my life. It's literally who knows.
And that is so interesting, the way that you guys are doing this. Do you see this kind of trend happening throughout Europe where they're moving away from more traditional VC and funding styles to more of these kinds of alternative funding styles?
No, I think so. We sit in a very weird place between private equity and VC.
Yeah.
Um, we tend to sit because we're sitting below the PE funds. There's not many of us around. However, I think VC is going to become a more of a thing,
Mhm.
especially as UK companies. Um, Europe's slightly farther behind, but as UK companies, the first round of unicorns are starting to actually list and be sold, which is creating the next generation of millionaires. And that generation of millionaires are the ones, and billionaires, for instance, for some of them, are the ones who will back the next generation of VCs. But I think that money is becoming more and more. We are way behind, like Silicon Valley. If they're in their fifth, sixth generation, we're
Yeah.
in our first.
Yeah.
And I think the VC will become more and more. In what we do, we will always remain specialist. We will always remain different, because you fall in a different place.
That is a really great thing to know, is to understand how these younger generations are becoming more specialists, and so therefore it challenges a lot of startups to figure out what those specialties are and what really does match, because they can't really just go through industry agnostic style the same way that they're used to doing in Silicon Valley, which is a lot more mature.
Exactly, 100%. Couldn't agree more.
That is fantastic. Is there a certain geography range that you guys are looking into or not?
I hate to mention it, but because of the pandemic, we've very much focused just on our home turf.
Okay.
So very much UK and Northern Europe.
Mm,
Um, However, as partly because some of the stuff we do, occasionally the face-to-face is needed. Zoom doesn't always work.
yes, that's
And you actually have to go and do some things occasionally. So just restrictions on travel have meant we've very much focused on our home turf. But that just this works. We're actually looking at a larger company in the States at the moment,
okay.
which is great. But who knows where we'll go?
That's
Who
fair.
knows?
And lastly, what if you had one lesson that the pandemic has taught you, either professional basis or a personal level? What lesson would it be?
Communicate. Always communicate.
Okay.
That doesn't matter if it's personal or in business life. Picking up the phone and speaking to someone is brilliant for mental well-being, for business well-being. It doesn't matter what it is. Just speak to someone. Don't do it on your own. And I learned that the hard way.
That is great. I actually have found out more often this past year that when I've read something and it doesn't make sense, I had to pick up the phone and call that person anyway, seeing that they were online. And I'll be like, I don't know what you just wrote at all. Can you just redo all of this verbally?
Exactly. The thing is, that's great. Take it off the page, chat about it. Break it
Exactly.
down. It's so
Exactly.
important. It's so important.
Awesome. So now we're going to play a little game called Hey Google to get to know you a little bit better, because it is always fantastic to be able to kind of see, the humans behind the masks, behind the finances, right? And that's how this world really does kind of grow all together, the startups and the investment world. So I have my little machine here, and I'm going to be asking some questions. Well, actually, I'm going to be giving you some keywords, sorry. And you're going to use those keywords and try and get Google to say it without saying the kind of taboo word.
Okay.
Okay. The first word is Jagermeister, which is from Germany, where you are from. All right. So would you like to go first and try and get Google to say it? You can ask it any kind of question.
Hey Google, what goes with Red Bull?
Hey, Google, what goes with Red Bull?
I found a list on the website okali.com. Here are 5 of the best alcoholic drinks infused with the energy drink. Excitable, 0.1 ounces. Vodka, 0.1 ounces. Peach schnapps. HPNOTIQ Green Lantern, 0.2 ounces. Hypnotic, 0.1 ounces. Vodka, Irish trash can, half an ounce. Gin, half an ounce. Light rum, vitamin C,
Watch where it's
0.2
going.
ounces. Solely orange vodka,
I don't think it
0.1
knows
can Red
yours.
Bull. Add solely to a glass of Red Bull on
But it
ice and
names a
blend.
lot of other
And
ideas.
finally, Blue Bull.
Hey Google. Hey Google, what is the most popular liquor from Germany?
Here's what I understood from the website statista.com. By far the most popular drink in Germany is mineral water. Do you want a little more
That is
context?
not at all what I have thought. The most popular drink was water.
I understood. What would I have thought? Is that right?
No. Okay.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
Why don't you try one? What else would you know about this product that might make Google say it?
Hey Google, what do they drink? What shots do they drink in the Alps?
On the website skiweekends.com, they say, the drink of choice of alpine revelers across the Alps. The Jagerbomb is a simple cocktail made by
Close
dropping a
enough,
shot glass full of Jagermeister.
Oh, there you go.
We actually got the word as well.
I thought that he was going to say mineral water.
Nice bit of every hand. Yeah.
I know, right? Oh my gosh. Okay. The next word is schnitzel. What would you say to Google to make him say it?
Hey Google, what is chicken covered in breadcrumbs?
On the website aaronskitchen.com, they say, these crispy breaded chicken cutlets are thin sliced chicken breasts coated in breadcrumbs and parmesan, creating a delicious golden crust.
That's it? Does it
It's
have
got
like
a-
a second meaning?
Just a recipe.
Yes, I know. Hey Google, what is a German dish that is deep fried?
On the website greatplainstable.com, they say, it's a simple deep fried meat pie that is easy to make and eat and typically comes with a side of pickles and ketchup.
You guys have a
Do you want
whole
a little more
pie?
context?
No. Okay, we can move on to something easier because this
Yeah.
one's really hard. Okay, so the last one is Munich.
Where is the most famous beer festival held?
Hey Google.
Oh, hey Google, where's the most famous beer festival held?
Oktoberfest is a 2-week festival held each year in Munich.
There you
There we
go.
go. There we go.
Hey Google, stop. I don't know why Google just got so quiet all of a sudden. But that's how you play Hey Google. So thank you so much, Ben, for taking the time to do this interview and playing this game with us. We got to know you a little bit better. And now we would love to hear an initiative or a startup investment that you're very excited about. So please share.
Startup investing, there's a lot of very interesting stuff happening in marketplaces at the moment. We really like marketplaces. They're maturing.
Okay, is there one that you particularly have in your portfolio that you'd like to mention so we can link it?
There is one, I would love to mention it, but we're not quite there with the investment yet.
That's okay. All right. So you're telling us to send more marketplaces your way.
Yeah,
they are very popular.
I love marketplaces. Marketplaces are absolutely, especially for my style of business as well. They are, the cash generation is fantastic. It's usually something, and I love businesses which build an infrastructure which you can use again and again and again.
Right.
And I think that is, I've got one, there's one which hopefully we'll be completing on in the next couple of weeks.
Perfect.
Which I would love to talk about, but I can't.
That's okay. That's okay. So so that's how we do the spotlight. So now thank you, Sven, so much for your time, and we wish you a great rest of your vacation ahead. Thank you also for taking your vacation time to come and talk to us. We really appreciate it. And until next time, guys, bye.